Hans. Um, you know, the first exposure, I'm just going to tell, can I tell it? No, you don't even know what I'm going to tell. The first time I saw anyone try to get away with using AI was the earliest kind of rewriters in 8th grade, right? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it was pretty funny, actually, because your rewriter substituted all these synonyms about the Hobbit, and it was kind of funny, right? And so, but I think since then, AI has become much, much better and harder to detect anyway. But anyway, that was my first experience. Hans is, he would like, let me give his acknowledgments. I don't know what to say about this exactly. Hans says, I would like to express my deepest gratitude and thanks to Hans Nicholas Kurniawan for his outstanding work and dedication in completing this thesis. Hans' commitment, perseverance, and attention to detail greatly contributed to the success of this project. Thank you for a job well done. I'm proud of me.
I should thank myself, you say.
Yeah, it just seems a little narcissistic, but that's okay. That's okay. So, but he does have a really relevant title for today, especially here, a relevant topic here in Indonesia where plastics have sort of gotten out of control. It's kind of interesting, you know, because I'm an old man, I know that plastic bags in America, at least, they first came out with sort of an eco-friendly idea. They wanted to keep from using paper, so that we were cutting down the rainforest using too much paper anyway. But now, obviously, that idea of using plastic was a disaster. And Indonesia really needs to clean up the mess. And so it's a good topic. Hans's title is Call Me When Yours Breaks Up, From Roots to Revolution, Indonesia's Solution to End Plastic Dependency. Give me just a second to set up the timer, which I have not done yet, and I will tell you when you can start. Hans, do you want to say the timer?
Yes.
All right, you can start whenever you're ready.
Can I see the timer? Okay. Every minute, a truckload of plastic enters our ocean. In Indonesia, from Bali's tourist-packed shores to remote island villages. This plastic-tight issue has become an environmental emergency, woven into the very fabric of our daily life. What if I told you that the solution to Indonesia's plastic bag emergency has been growing in the soils of Indonesia? In fact, we have been consuming it for centuries. Imagine this. There is a bag that works like plastic bags, but instead of polluting the earth, it fixes the earth. Don't just imagine it. This exists. It is cassava. Cassava bag. Yes, you are not wrong. It's cassava. The food that we consume for our daily life, for singkong goreng, kusuka, and tapioca. This is a game changer. It is biodegradable and safe for the planet. With this, Indonesia should say hello to cassava bags and say goodbye to plastic bags. Have you ever seen the Pandawara group? A group of Indonesian teenagers who are fighting to make Indonesia a greener place. If you look at the videos that they make, you can see that the plastic in Indonesia is really bad. This sucks for me, knowing that Indonesia cannot protect their own country. Something needs to be done about this. With the newest and latest technology that Indonesia has and the world has, it will make fighting the issue much simpler. Now, replacement for plastic bags has existed. Cassava bags will be a hero to overcome this mess. Plastic was made to save the life of our elephants. In 1869, John Wesley Hyatt developed plastic as a substitute for ivory. helping to protect countless elephants from exploitation. By 1950, the food sector began to adopt plastic. And in the 1970s, single-use plastic became a commonplace. However, by the 1950s, the food sector began to adopt plastic, and in the 1970s, single-use plastic bags became a commonplace. However, by the 1990s, people started realizing the detrimental impact of plastics in the ocean. Awareness of plastic pollution grew significantly by 2010, prompting discussion about its environmental consequence. Indonesia generates 7.8 million tons of plastic annually. According to the UNEP, every year, 19 to 23 million tons of plastic waste leaks into the aquatic ecosystem, polluting lakes, rivers, and seas. Plastic will break down to microplastics over time, where microplastics substance contains many toxic elements. As humans are part of the natural food circulation, consuming meat or fish from polluted sea or land can cause humans to consume microplastics. Plastic pollution disrupts habitats and natural processes, diminishing ecosystems' ability to adapt to climate change. This affects millions of livelihoods. Food production capabilities, and social well-being. Almost everyone interacts with plastic daily. It is nearly impossible to avoid it entirely. In the past few years, biodegradable plastic has been developed from renewable sources with a goal that performs as well as traditional plastic to eliminate pollution. New inventions has been made, with cassava bags as one of them. Cassava bags are an innovative, sustainable alternative to normal plastic bag. It is an eco-friendly bag made from natural resources like cassava starch, organic resins, and vegetable oil. In Indonesia, there are already several producers that successfully produce cassava bags. One of them is Avani Eco, a producer based in Bali that successfully replaced traditional plastic with cassava bags in many five-star hotels, restaurants, and clubs. With that in mind, cassava bags offer a biodegradable and compostable alternative to traditional plastic bag. But producers create cassava bags using natural ingredients that are 100% non-toxic. They are PLA-free and BPA-free. Uncontrolled plastic usage is one of the most urgent environmental challenges the world is facing at the moment. The use of cassava bags offers significant environment benefits, mostly to the biodegradable and compostable benefits it represents, from the decomposition time, effort, and safetiness, which directly address the issue associated with traditional plastic waste. The main advantage of cassava bag is that they will decompose in a short time, and they are safe for the world. Manufacturers include cassava bags as a beneficial replacement for traditional plastic bag, with cassava being the main raw material. Surprisingly, compared with other plastic bags, even those who claim to be sustainable, most of them contain PE or PP plastics, a harmful component, while cassava bags do not. Cassava bags will degrade around 90% in 7 or 8 months in natural condition, naturally returning to biomass, CO2, and H2O. On the other hand, in a commercial composting facility, they will degrade by 85% within 3 months. Meanwhile, plastic will take 20 to 500 years for it to fully decompose. In addition to that, these bags are truly made from nature, with cassava as the main ingredient, making the bag not contain any harmful substances. Certifying bodies have confirmed that the degradation process is rapid and safe. Cassava bags are completely safe for the environment, which is why they should replace conventional plastic. The specific biological mechanism driving biodegradation make cassava bags particularly important for Indonesia. The material is broken down by certain microorganisms and enzymes, turning it into carbon dioxide, water, and biomass. Humidity and temperature remarkably affect the processes of the decomposition. In humid areas, condition enhances the decomposition process by up to 15%. Other than that, temperature above 30 degrees Celsius can improve the degradation process. To illustrate, a bag of cassava bark was dissolved in hot water, and the water was drunk by Kevin Kumala, the inventor and the owner of Avani Eco, showing that it happens to be non-toxic and safe, validating their claim about their animal safety. Cassava bags are completely safe for the animals because they are made from natural resources, natural biodegradable ingredients like cassava starch, vegetable oil, and organic resins. Cassava starch derived from a cassava plant. It is edible and dissolves easily in hot water, preventing choking or digestive blockages in animals. Vegetable oils improve flexibility while remaining non-toxic, unlike petroleum-based additives in plastic. Organic resins sourced from plants help maintain the bag structure without releasing harmful microplastics. Since cassava bags contain no toxic chemicals like BPA, they do not cause poisoning or health issues if consumed. Their ability to break down naturally ensures they do not harm wildlife or pollute the environment. The sea sets an extra plate for the animals. Cassava bags are both safe for the soil and will help preserve animal life in our forests. During the decomposition of cassava bags, they nourishes the soil, which enriches the soil, increasing the fertility of the soil. From the decomposition of cassava bags, it releases nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which enriches the soil with nutrients, making them beneficial for the use of agriculture. Following that, the starches and organic compounds from the bags are also beneficial for the soil due to it being a food for the microorganisms in the soil, leading to a better soil ecosystem. These characteristics from the decomposition of cassava bags make it something beneficial for the soil. Unlike many other eco-friendly plastic bags that claim to be biodegradable, some might not even fully decompose. Some might end up breaking down into microplastics, which leads to the environmental risk. Researchers have tested and proven cassava bags to be safe for the environment. This innovative, sustainable packaging not only benefits biodegradability, but also offers significant economic benefits. The process of production will create new market opportunities for the locals. The shift from plastic bags not only supports sustainability, but also creates a job opportunity and strengthens Indonesia's community. Cassava bags reduce the financial burden linked to waste management by replacing traditional plastic with cassava bags. It shortens the cost of environmental cleanup. Pollution and overflowing landfills are produced by traditional plastic, which enriches the cost waste management. Indonesia's landfills are bursting at the seams, choking under the weight of the endless waste. According to the Sustainable Waste Indonesia, Indonesia produces 65 million tons of waste daily, recycling only 7% of it, while 69% ends up in landfills. Traditional plastic causes damage to the environment, including plastic in rivers, ocean, and landscapes. According to the Ocean Cleanup, just cleaning garbage in the Great Pacific Ocean requires 7.5 billion US dollars. Moreover, plastic waste significantly increases the risk of flooding across in Indonesia. In DKI Jakarta alone, flood-related economic losses amount to a staggering 2.1 trillion rupiah per year. Meanwhile, in the case of cassava bags, it does not need any cost since these bags dissolve eventually, leaving no harmful substances in the environment, both on land and on sea, saving up costs for environmental cleanup, making it a great alternative to a better plastic bag. The production of cassava bags requires a large amount of cassava, which will create a more opportunity for local farmers in Indonesia. Improved livelihood have encouraged the use of cassava bags, contributing to local economic growth. More income will be gained by local farmers and workers, which can be reliable and beneficial for them. As the demand for cassava bags increases, a benefit is received by the farmers, as more cassava is required. From 1 ton of fresh cassava, it can produce approximately 250 kilograms of cassava bags. Since Indonesian citizens require a significant amount of cassava, the locals can partner with manufacturers to supply cassava, encouraging farmers to expand their farms and secure production and secure steady income due to the high demand of cassava bags. Manufacturers establish factories in the countryside to reduce opportunities for local farmers. The processes that needs labor for the working processes and distribution leads a new job opportunities for the Indonesians, though the cost of sustainability might seem high at first. The true values lay in the long term. It brings both the benefits to both planet and future generation. The use of cassava bags will raise awareness for people towards the eco-friendly and sustainable alternative to plastic products. When people begin to shift towards plastic bags, the market for cassava bags will keep expanding and growing. Automatically, with the growth, cassava bags will be more available in the market. With that, plastic consumers will begin to realize the impact of plastic to the environment. Adopting eco-friendly products significantly enhances brand reputation by appealing to the growing demand for corporate sustainability. A 2021 Nielsen report found that 81% of global consumers believe companies should actively improve the environment, and 73% are willing to pay more for sustainable goods. Price is one of the reasons that people have not moved to the use of cassava bags and keep on using plastic bags. Plastic bags are really easy to buy. They are widely available and can be bought almost anywhere. Cassava bags are made from cassava, which means energy, land, and resources are needed for it to grow, while traditional plastic just needs petroleum. According to the Food and Agricultural Organization, the cost of production of cassava bags can be 30 to 40% higher than traditional plastics, while cassava-based bags may initially cost up to 3 times or more than plastic bags, but they help reduce the environmental damage. Waste management costs and regulatory fines associated with plastic pollution. Over time, the shift to cassava bags create a more sustainable economic model that benefits both businesses and the environment. Other than price that is a problem, the durability of cassava bag is one of the reasons people still stays in plastic bags. Plastic bags are already popular for their durability, strength, and resistance. However, cassava bags are made of material that come from nature, so they might not be as durable as traditional plastic bags. Cassava bags can hold up to 7 kilograms of weight. They're not perfect yet, but technology will continue to make them stronger in time. As innovation continues, cassava-based bags will likely to become more resilient, making them a viable long-term replacement for plastics bags in Indonesia's packaging industry. To the environment, cassava bags might cause another environmental issue. With cassava bags that are made from cassava, farmers need to plant more cassava in order to reach the demand from the market. Meanwhile, Indonesians are also still having cassava as one of their consumption. Between 2001 and 2021, in a span time of 20 years, Indonesia has lost 10 million of hectares of forest, primarily due to agricultural expansion. The expansion of field to plant cassava can worsen the issue of deforestation. But cassava bags are beneficial for the soil quality. With the degradation of plastic that harms the soil quality, cassava bags do not harm the soil. Instead, they give nutrients to the soil, making the soil more fertile to grow plants. Cassava bags degrade over time, but unlike conventional plastic, which accumulates in landfills and takes centuries for it to break down, they decompose quickly, reducing deforestation and air pollution. Indonesia is really on a crisis on the plastic pollution. Plastic waste is a big problem, and regular plastic bags are a major part of it. But thankfully, cassava bags are here to come for the rescue. These bags are made from natural ingredients. It comes from a plant like potato. The cool thing about this is that they break down in a short period and they are safe for the environment. Believe it or not, animals can even eat them. They also give nutrients to the soil as it decomposes. Although cassava bags might cost more than conventional plastics, at first it might seem expensive, but if it is seen in the long run, they can save money because they reduce environmental cleanup. Plus, giving benefits to all locals, farmers, and governments. By means of this, Indonesia should ban regular plastic bags and support cassava bags instead. Government of Indonesia could help companies and manufacturers that produces cassava bags and teach Indonesian citizens about why cassava bags is a good choice. By raising the awareness towards cassava bags, more people will use it and reduce plastic pollution. With Indonesia putting effort to replace plastic with cassava bags, it will improve Indonesia's reputation internationally. People's view of Indonesia will change, and it will be a major step on Indonesia's image globally. By reducing plastic waste, Indonesia can contribute well in fighting against climate change and lowering carbon footprints. Support cassava bags, push for plastic ban, and hold businesses and governments accountable for creating sustainable and greener future. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Hans. Good job. Our panelists today are Ms. Velma and Mr. Trevor. Let's see, we'll have Ms. Velma go first.
Thank you. Hi, Hans.
Hi, Miss.
Okay, as a grammar school teacher, I'm proud of you standing there and then bringing up this topic, and also, which is for me, is really a concern too. But first of all, I would like to ask you why you're bringing up this topic, why this is really motivate you to bringing up this topic.
Thank you, Ms. Palma, for asking that question to me. To answer why, it gives me an idea to bring this topic to my thesis is because at first I went to Bali and I went surfing in Bali. And in Bali, when I was surfing, there was many plastics in the oceans, which make me think that this is really bad. Just in the ocean, in the sea, in the ocean, there are very many plastics. Where Bali is actually a place where tourists come, and it will be something that is shy for Indonesia because they have many plastics. And from there, it makes me to think that plastic is really bad. And not long after that, I went to a restaurant, and in the restaurant there was it was a Mexican restaurant, and they serve plastic with eco-friendly plastics. And from there, it makes me to think that this should replace conventional plastics. And from there, I did my own research, and I found that cassava bags is one of the alternative to conventional plastics. And this cassava bags gives environmental benefits too, not like other eco-friendly plastics that is out there.
Yeah, it's good to see that how you are bringing up this topic by displaying all the data, and it was really shocking to know how much the waste that
Yeah.
it become really a big problem. But you say that you are doing some research, though. Then let me ask you this: from this knowledge that you have,
Yes.
does it also impact you as a high school student? Like, I mean, your personal life, like how you feel this and how it will impact your daily life, knowing all this data and knowing all of this become really a concern.
Okay. Yes. Knowing this as a teenager, it makes me to think that we, as the next generation for the world, we need to change the future so that the future generations will not get a harmful impact from the plastics that the older generation used to do, so that the next generation will be better. And to me, uh, the world for our generation needs to know about this, because without them knowing the impact of conventional plastic, they won't realize the harmful impact it gives from conventional plastics.
Does it change your life too? Like, does it change you too?
Yes, it changed my life a bit by when I'm going to the supermarkets or going to other place, I try to ask to not use plastics, and instead I'll bring another bag so that it will reduce the plastic in the world.
Okay, so connecting to that, I really also really good to read about how the government have to bring or raise awareness to the
Yes.
people, right? So can you maybe elaborate this more, like how the government start to raise awareness, and how, like, is that only government, and then is there anything that we could do maybe as a school to raise this awareness to the
Okay.
community?
Thank you, Ms. Fong, for the question. As in for the governments, as I see from now, the governments are not really putting a part in the plastic waste. Like, they don't care about the plastics in Indonesia. They mostly, who cares about the nature is mostly the people that lives in Indonesia, but the governments are not putting a part in it. What the government can do to solve this issue is that the governments can put educational program for the students, like students for the younger generations, or give spare some money instead of using the money for waste management. Spare some money to make the cassava bags cheaper so that it will be more available in the market, and so that people can buy it more easily. And for the schools can also teach students like how bad conventional plastic is for the world, and so that uh, it will create a mindset in the students that plastic bags are not good for the environment, and from that they can be more aware and move to and shift to cassava bags.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas.
All right. First of all, thank you, Hans, for speaking to us today. My first question is, you bring up the idea that plastic bags are causing a lot of unnecessary waste. They're polluting the environment. My big question when I was reading through this was, what about plastic other than bags? Because even though the cassava bags might solve this specific type of plastic problem, there's still a ton of plastic products that are also being dumped into the ocean. Are cassava bags really so much of a solution that they off-put all the other plastic products that are being produced?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lever, for answering that questions. For other plastics, it also creates me thinking that it is also bad for the environment. But leading to this thesis, if I talk everything about plastics, it will be a much longer thesis, and it will not be, it will be more than the criteria that Mr. Wade gives. And from that, I choose to only pick cassava bags. Although other plastics like plastic bottles, like or plastics for chips, it's also found in many oceans and in lands, which is really bad. But to me, the majority of it comes from plastic bags, because if I seen it, people uses plastic bags every single day, almost every single day. Uh, And if people shift to cassava bags, people will be more aware. And from there, companies can also probably produce bottle plastics with other alternatives that are safe for the environment.
So two sub-questions based off of your response there. Number one, you said that, in your opinion, the majority of the problem falls on plastic bags. Do we have any data to support that?
To record the data, for me, actually haven't have the data. But if I have seen in the real life and like in the personal experiences, when I was surfing back then in Bali, the plastic bag was stuck on my feet, and from there it made me to think that about plastic bags. That's why I chose to pick cassava bags. Maybe maybe there are not any specific data yet for which plastic is mostly used, but I think plastic bags is also a big part of the mess.
So then, going off of the second part of your response, the idea that using cassava bags will then inspire producers to potentially find other eco-friendly options for things like bottles or chip bags.
Yes.
Do we have any data to support that? Are there any similar companies who have started making those strides based off of the use of single-use, let's say cassava bags or any other type of biodegradable bag? Do we see companies already taking those steps, or is that just a projection that you have based off of your evidence?
From my research, there are already several companies that try to make other things other than eco-friendly plastic bags. Taking an example from the one I've said, Avani Eco, brand from Bali, they have also produced other products like plastic straws, like plates and plastic spoons that are eco-friendly.
So you're saying that cassava bags are kind of the first step that we need to take in order
Yes.
for producers at large to start looking
Yes.
at eco-friendly materials
Yes.
as replacements. Okay. I think my next biggest question is how do we go about the proper storage and handling of these cassava bags? Because one of the benefits of them is that they are easily biodegradable, especially in humid climates like Indonesia. That can also be a bad attribute of them, because how do you properly handle or store something that degrades very quickly in
Yes.
humidity? What are the necessary precautions that companies like grocery stores or even just vendors on the street, what would they have to do in order to make sure that their bags don't fall apart before a consumer uses them?
Yes. Thank you, Mr., for the questions. I've already thought about this, and me, myself, I've already tried to buy cassava bags from Avani Eco. And from there, I've spoken to one of the founders of Avani Eco, and they told me that as long as I keep the bag safe in the packaging that they give, it will be totally safe, and it will last for about a year for them to not decompose.
What packaging do they put it in?
They put in another like plastic bags. Although the plastic bags, they said it might not still be safe for the environment, but at least it still reduces the plastic in the world.
Okay, yeah, I think that's all the questions I have.
All right. Thank you, Hans. I have a few questions, many that come from your peers. The first one I'll start with is one of your peers asked the question, can you eat a cassava bag?
Thank you, one of my friends, for asking that question. That's a question that I've already asked myself too. I've ever tried to beat the cassava bags, and if I try it, it tastes kind of bitter, but I think it is safe because Kevin Kumala even ate the whole plastic by degrading it in hot water, and then Kevin Kumala drinking it in the water. And from my experience, me eating it, and I'm still healthy right now, and I'm not dead in the graveyard, so I think it's totally safe to eat plastic bags.
Okay, maybe
I
it
mean,
just needs a
cassava
little
bags.
salt, right?
Yeah.
Just a little salt, maybe.
Very proper, sir.
So, let me ask you this, and I think you've sort of included this in your thesis, but I want you to explain, maybe elaborate or just repeat it. What is it in cassava that enables us to use it to create these, sort of durable bags that last a while? What is it about cassava that has, in the cellular properties, I guess, of cassava that makes it able to create these bags?
Like the ingredients to make this bags, or like the ingredients to make this bags, like I've said before, these bags are totally made from the nature. It is made from vegetable oil, organic resins, and cassava starch. Like cassava starch is the ingredients that is made to make many foods. And organic resins come from plants, which showed that it is safe for the environment too. And last is vegetable oils. Clearly, vegetables oils came from vegetables, which means it is safe for the environment because we ourselves like to eat food that is made from vegetable oils too.
Yeah. So another question that many of your peers are asking, and I think maybe you've addressed it maybe a little bit, is so if we completely get rid of plastics and go to cassava bags, now we're going to be cutting down the forest to create giant cassava farms, perhaps. Is that right? Or
Yes, that's right. Thank you, Franz, for the question. That was what I was also got in my mind about if people shift towards cassava bags, the demand for cassava bags will automatically increase, and the demand will be really high. With that, farmers will need to cut off trees, to take down the trees to plant more cassava plants. In my opinion, from that, it is almost impossible for people to directly move 100% to cassava bags. They will shift slowly as time goes by. And as the shift goes by, technology will keep on increasing. And I believe that as time goes by, people will also find other alternatives that can be added to cassava bags in order to reduce the amount of cassava that is needed to make the cassava bags.
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's what I was thinking about was, for example, whether it's corn, right?
Yes.
For centuries or decades anyway, scientists have been trying to produce corn. They genetically breed corn together that has high oil content to make
Yes.
a kernel that is super high in oil to make corn oil with.
Yes.
Same with things like palm oil. There's a science to breeding these the different individual that you get in order to increase the level of whatever it is you're looking for. So it seems to me, and I guess you would say that over time, you might have a super high starch cassava, even higher than now,
Yeah.
that could even be, you have to use less of it to create bags. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because I believe that humans are evolving, and as technology.
Okay. What other, is there any other crop out there that's super high in starch that might be able to be used besides cassava?
From now, what's in the market is only cassava, but I think corn or potato can be another alternatives to replace cassava because it contains the starch that cassava does.
And so, let's see. Some others have asked, okay, it's a great idea. If we're going to have plastic, let's use cassava bags. But why don't we just quit using these kind of one-use bags altogether and just go with cloth bags? Why don't we just do that?
Thank you for the question, friends. To answer that question about why people should not just replace conventional plastic with bags that we always bring, to me, as I live in Indonesia, many people are still lazy to bring those kinds of bags. as an Indonesian citizen myself, I'm also lazy to bring those kind of bags for me to bring it everywhere. So with cassava bags available in the market, probably just putting a bit of my money, I'll rather buy cassava bags and me bringing it everywhere, bringing the normal bag everywhere.
Should we just make a law that gets rid of plastic bags completely?
In my opinion, in Indonesia, they should make a law that should replace plastic completely. But if I see Indonesia, I don't think that will be possible since the government alone, probably they got some money too from the plastics that is bought. Like probably companies will give money to the governments too, because as the companies who produce plastic bags themselves, they don't want to be bankrupt. So rather than the government making a law, which I believe that government have thought about it, but why they don't make the law, it's probably because the owner of the plastic companies give money to the plastic companies.
Yeah. One other question is from one of your peers doesn't, I mean, Indonesia's got a lot of problems right now, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of problems. And aren't there other things that we should focus on? We could clean up the environment maybe, but rather than invest so much money in cassava bags, shouldn't we do things to develop our nation with education and put our investments in other places first?
Thank you, friend, for the question. In my opinion, yeah, that's true, although there are many other problems that Indonesia is facing at the moment. It might be bigger than the plastic problem, but in my opinion, with the plastic waste problem, it brings to many other problems like floods, then oceans being full of plastics, and many other problems that maybe you guys can think of. From that, cassava bags is reducing plastic can also be one of the things that Indonesia should fix.
Okay. And one real quick question. The ones that you've seen before, are they manufactured in Indonesia or somewhere else and brought in?
For cassava bags, one of the producers is Avani Eco. They produce their own bags in Bali themselves. They have their manufacturers in in Bali, and I've asked them, and they said that they themselves bought the cassava from Indonesia too, so it will bring economic benefits to the farmers in Indonesia too.
And one last question. What was the Mexican food place you were at? Because I really miss Mexican food. Where were you eating?
Probably KFC, sir. I forgot the name of the restaurant.
Okay, that's okay. Time is up. Thank you, Hans. Okay, we will. Hans will meet friends and family and panelists over here for photos, and then we will have a bit of a break before we start with Troy at about 10 minutes after 10.